Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, Justice League, issue number 40. Well, that happened quick. So we got a brand new team on this book, a whole new story and things. See a couple problems here and there, whatever, but overall, it's looking like a pretty good story. Let's get talking about who made this comic book. We'll talk a little bit more about the book itself. This is Invasion of the Supermen, Part 1, Impact. Robert Venditti is the writer, Doug Mahnke is on pencils, Richard Friend is on inks, Dave Barron on colors, Tom Napolitano on letters, Brian Hitch and Jeremiah Skipper doing the cover, and Arthur Adams and Tomio Morey doing the variant cover. I'm going to point out something that I don't usually point out, and that is that Andrea Shea is the associate editor, and the main editor for this book is Alex R. Carr. Why am I pointing those out in this particular issue? Well, basically, Saddam Yat ends up on planet Earth, and everybody's trying to stop him and whatnot, and apparently nobody knows what a Daxamite is. Like, in general, in theory, they know what it is, but it's like, when the rest of us are looking at this character, talking about, so what is it, lead that's really bad for him? Like, if you put lead in him, he could die? Yeah, and listen, the last time I remember, like, I'm not saying this is exactly what's going on, but the last time that I very specifically remember seeing Saddam Yat, it was a long time ago, and he went and made himself into a new sun. It was like he was powering up the sun of, I think it was of Daxam to power the Daxamites to give them back the yellow sun power and whatnot. I'm saying, so I haven't seen this dude in a while. Anyway, a couple people are tripping up in this one, namely the Flash. Barry Allen was told to start throwing some punches at this guy, and literally, like, he got tripped. He didn't get clipped or anything. He just tripped. And it's like, oop. And I'm wondering, does this have something to do with Joshua Williamson's run? Because Venditti is actually paying attention to a whole bunch of what's going on. He's paying attention to the fact that Superman is now outed and known as Superman. That just happened, a couple of weeks ago, right? Why am I pointing out that it happened a couple of weeks ago? Well, because apparently somebody forgot that a month ago, Alfred, actually more than a month ago, a couple months ago, Alfred was killed. He was straight up murderfied. So when I'm seeing Batman talking to Alfred on the screen, maybe it's just some kind of an AI in the shape of Alfred. Maybe that's what they're going to go with later on and be like, psh. Or maybe he's just going to man up and be like, oops, it's an oops. You know what I'm saying? Give me a mulligan. We're good. It's an oops moment. I'm good with either way. Whatever. It is what it is. Like, I'm not bothered by Venditti for doing that. I don't expect any single one person to read all of the freaking comic books out there. Well, at the same time, you remember I mentioned the editors on here? How did they not catch that? You turn this around, after the fact, oh, hey, look, all of a sudden Batman's got an AI in his Batjet that it's in the shape of Alfred, and he's able to, why's it got to be an AI instead of just a recording? Because it's very specific what he says back to him. You know what I'm saying? You're going to swim back home from England? I don't know, man. This was, all in all, there's a fun story. The Eradicator and his Supermen are coming down to give it to Superman in and of himself. And Saddam Yat shows up, and it's like, maybe the Daxamites will help. Some of them, maybe they won't. It's too early to tell with anything. And I got to be honest, I am still coming off of the extreme low of the previous Justice League run, the entire 39 issues plus everything else that was happening. I loves me some Scott Snyder. The dude's allowed to trip up, not just on an issue, not just on an arc. He's allowed to trip up on a whole run, as far as I'm concerned. I'm totally cool with that. It is what it is. But it doesn't change the fact that I'm still feeling really depressed when I look at a Justice League comic book. So I look at this, and unfortunately it does have to be that baggage there. But the characters are interacting with each other. They seem hopeful and whatnot. What do you call it? There is the memory that Saddam Yat seems to be losing his hair up on top. He's looking really weird. He's looking like Dungeon Master from the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon back in the day. I'm pointing out facts right here, right? But there is that interaction with Jon Stewart, so it's cool. I'm liking how this is happening. As far as like the characters that are being used in here, the Eradicator, you got Daxamites, and they're going after Superman and all this other crazy stuff. It's Venditti. Venditti has a certain passionate love affair with Superman. I'm not saying it's dirty or anything, but he really likes Superman. You know what I'm saying? And everything surrounding Superman. So, which would explain why there's suddenly a Hawkman from a version of Hawkman from Krypton, right? At least one. So, all things being what they are, this was a fun comic book. I still have some trepidation because it is Justice League, and we had, for me, a really depressing run. And on top of that is the idea that Venditti he's pulling from his typical bag. You know what I'm saying? Like his bag of tricks. All in all, it makes it very familiar for me. I wish I could feel more for the comic book. I honestly do. I had to point out Snyder's run. It's still not great. I honestly I hardly have any words to give to this, and I don't want to bite my tongue on anything, but I don't want to give this a bad review without giving it a shot. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna read the next issue. I'm gonna see what's what. But honestly, if I can't get out of that slump, that terrible, depressing slump that the previous run did to me, I don't know if I'll be able to continue reading Justice League. Just, it is what it is. Anyway, guys, it's Justice League. I'm sure they'll be all right without me. I am curious, though. How does everybody else feel about it? All right, guys. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.